Good morning, Africa. Welcome to Good Morning Africa, our breakfast show. It comes your way every weekdays, Mondays to Fridays, 7 a.m. West African time. Sorry for the technical issues. This was muted. So we know how we run it for the show. It's a very amazing show. We help you get started for the day. I know we had an amazing night. So I'm your anchor for this show, Lee. So we have lots of trending headlines for you. A lot of things are happening, and also we are going to be looking at the market. We're going to be looking at the different markets: the commodity market, the crypto market, the FS and stock market, and also we'll be also seeing how the crypto market, most especially, is doing. Not really that well. I don't know even what Bitcoin gained. It has really shut those off. So let's see what is really happening. So we'll also be looking at headlines that we have for today. We have lots of headlines and trending stories here, things that are happening in the blockchain, crypto, and fintech ecosystem. So after that, we're going to be looking at making some inputs on those trending headlines, and I'll be making some inputs, and also we'll be having our guests joining us to make his own input as well. So after that, we're going to be wrapping up the show. So I'm expecting to have a very good ride with us this morning. So thank you once again. We'll go for a short break. When we return, we continue with the conversation. We will be right back. Good morning, Africa. Welcome back to the show live on Cnetv, the first and leading 247 live broadcasting TV for blockchain, crypto, and fintech ecosystem. We are helping you get started this morning. So I'm going to be bringing everything happening in the blockchain, crypto, and fintech space. So it's going to be an amazing time out, as it has always been. Let's look at the world we have today that we will looking at some of the things, most especially in the blockchain space. Look at we, as an innovator, as an entrepreneur, wherever you are, you have to be open enough to see opportunities. You have to be open to see opportunities. Look at, as most especially as an entrepreneur, as an innovator, you have to be open enough to see opportunities, because opportunities are hidden. So you have to be able to be sensitive enough, be open enough to look at your environment, your surroundings, things that are happening around you, to be able to get some inspirations and how to be able to bring solutions to what is those problems around your community. I know those are part of an entrepreneur. So you look for a way to solve problems around you, around the world, around your community, and in solving those problems, real world problems, you'll be able to get rewarded. Make money out of those services and whatever you are doing. So if you look at in our world today, you look at our tech world, you look at the fintech world, the blockchain world, you see that it's really people that are open-minded. People are coming up with ideas. People are coming up with innovations, because they were able to. I've been able to meet some persons that during the course of interview they tell you that maybe they didn't even want to. They didn't know they were going to be going this direction, but they looked around them and saw that this was a big problem that needs to be solved around them, in their society, in their countries, in their continent, and around the world. And they ventured into providing solutions to those problems. So if you look at even when you look at platforms, social media platforms, you see that they are bringing the world together. You'll be able to be where you are, communicate with friends and families. We see that our innovation is advancing, and how it used to be is not how it is today, and I know it will not be like that tomorrow. So people are looking at being open enough. It's when you are open enough to your environment, you'll be able to know what is really happening and how to be able to see those opportunities. So I know it's not easy, but we have to develop that ability. It doesn't come overnight, but it's a gradual process. So it will also help us, most especially in this blockchain space that is at its infant stage. There are a lot of opportunities. People are coming with lots of creativity, innovations. So those innovations are born out of your openness to what is happening around you. That's where you'll be able to get those opportunities. So that's our word for today. Be open enough so that you see opportunities. So we still live here on Cnetv. It's Good Morning Africa, a breakfast show that comes your way every weekday. That's at 7 a.m. West African time. So I'm your host, as usual, Lee. So we go for a short break. When we return, we are going to be looking at the market. How are the markets reacting? The four major markets are the crypto, the commodity, stock, and FS markets. So do not go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's still Good Morning Africa live on Cnetv. So let's go straight to the markets, starting with cryptocurrency markets. So let's see how these markets are reacting. So if we look at cryptocurrency market, let's look at the entire cryptocurrency market. You see that the market cap there has really gone down to 5%, so it has lost 5%. So the entire cryptocurrency market capitalization has lost 5%, and that makes it that the entire market cap is at $1.29 trillion. That's 1,291,981,679,287 So that's how the crypto market stands this morning, having lost 5% of what it was when we were here yesterday. So that market cap was around $1.3 trillion, going down there. So it has lost 5.1%. So if you look at that, you'll be able to check out the total market, the 24-hour volume. The 24-hour cryptocurrency volume is at 100 billion. So the figure there is 100 billion 401,980,248 dollars. That's the trade volume, 24-hour trade volume of cryptocurrencies, and as usual, Bitcoin dominating with 44.0%, followed by Ethereum at 17%. So when you look at the prices, let's take a look at the prices there. We'll be looking at the top cryptos there by market capitalization. Bitcoin, which was trading at about 31,500 when we were on the show yesterday, is currently trading at $29,868, having lost 5.6% in the last 24 hours. So followed by Ether. Ether is trading at $1,817, having lost 6.1%. So we look at BNB there. BNB trading at $302, having lost 5.1%. So that's how it stands. So we look at Cardano, the ticker there, ADA, currently trading at $0.56 dollars. It has lost 6.7% there. So we look at SRP, that's repo, at $0.39 dollars. It has lost 6.7% there. We look at Solana. Sol is at $39.18 dollars, having lost 12.6% in the last 24 hours. We look at Doge. Doge is currently trading at 0.08, that's 8 cents, and it has lost 5.6% in the last 24 hours. Dot there, which is Polkadot, trading at 9.44, and it has lost 9.1%. These cryptocurrencies yesterday really gained. After the show, we saw them doing very well, most of them gaining 10%, 15%. They have really shed those off. Maybe let's see, and even Luna has really lost about 50%. I don't know. Let's see how the market goes today. I will believe maybe the markets will react positively today. So we away from crypto market. So we're going to be moving away from cryptocurrency markets, and we'll be looking at stock markets. How is the stock market really behaving or reacting? So we look at Apple there. Apple is currently trading at $148.71. That's what Apple is currently trading this morning. Salesforce.com currently at 176.607. Intel currently at 44.11. Microsoft at and 72.42. Cisco at 45.23. Away from that, I will move to commodity. Commodities are doing gold there at 1,000. That's 1 ounce of gold at $1,852. Silver at $21.948. And next there is copper at $4.3365. Platinum is trading at 1,002.30. Palladium at 2008.78. Crude oil there at 113.17. Brent oil at 114.37. Away from commodities, we move to FS market. You see FS market, euro is against USD is currently at 1.0663. Pounds against USD at 1.2491. USD against Japanese yen at 129.96. USD against Canadian dollars at 1.2672. Australian dollars against USD at 0.7161. So that's it on market. We haven't been able to look at the cryptocurrency market, stock, FX, and commodity market. I will see how these markets are reacting. Not really in good shape, most especially the crypto market. So we still have many things lined up for you this morning on the show. Good morning, Africa. So do not go anywhere. We're going to be going for a short break. When we return, we'll be returning with the headlines, the trending headlines. So do not go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's still Good Morning Africa, live on Cnetv. So we move straight to the headlines, trending headlines that we have for you this morning, so that you stay informed and updated about what is really happening in the blockchain, crypto, and fintech ecosystem. So before we look at today's headlines, let's just take a quick look at some of the headlines yesterday, so we be able to go through that before we now move straight to today's headlines. In case you missed it yesterday, so this morning, some of the headlines we had yesterday was number one on the list: Russia is open to Bitcoin crypto for international payments. Crypto banking rules now due this year from Basel Committee. Waves skyrocket as details of DeFi revival plan unveiled, still down 85% from all-time high. A researcher's avatar was sexually assaulted on a metaverse platform owned by Meta, making her the latest victim of sexual abuse on Meta's platform. Adaverse backs Cassava Network with a seed investment to empower African content creators. With Terra 2.0 is bye-bye to Argo on stablecoin. Fresh gains push Bitcoin back into the world's top 10 most valuable assets as crypto markets cap, still the world 10th largest asset by market valuation. So we looked briefly at Lebanese pound exchange rate against dollar plunged to all-time low, and it was trading at 35,600 pounds. That's Lebanese pounds to a dollar. So that's it for headlines yesterday. Then we'll take a look at the trending headlines and stories we have for you today. So number one on that list is Binance raises $500 million fund to invest in Web3 as crypto slides into bear market. So that particular story there, Binance raising $500 million there. A lot of stories are coming from Binance there. We know how Binance, the influence Binance have in the blockchain space. Binance is the largest cryptocurrency exchange by trade volume. So we are looking at what they've been able to do. Binance have been able to invest in many projects, but this is the first time they are coming up with a venture capital firm. So they are trying to raise funds to invest in Web3. Web3 is mostly blockchain technology. So any project that is applying or working in the blockchain space, that includes metaverse, NFTs, and all the rest of them. So this is a very good one for the industry, though it's going to be giving Binance more hands. You could remember that Binance recently invested in Forbes, so they have investment in Forbes, and also they have $500 million that they want to also put in Twitter. So they want to also fund Elon Musk for his $44 billion Twitter acquisition. So we look at that. Also apart from that, that Binance also have investment in Axie Infinity, Terra. Even the Terra that had issues, they have investment there. Even CoinMarketCap and a lot of projects that they have investment in. So the story there, according to this story here, we look at Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, is launching its own venture capital fund. The company's venture arm, Binance Labs, said Wednesday it has raised $500 million for its debut startup fund, securing backings from venture capital firm DST Global and Bria Capital, as well as unnamed family offices and corporations. It comes after Andreessen Horowitz last week announced a mammoth $4.5 billion fund to invest in crypto startups. Binance Labs plans to use the capital to invest in companies building Web3, though still an ill-defined term. Web3 loosely referred to a hypothetical future iteration of the internet that's more decentralized than online platform today and incorporates blockchain, the shared digital ledger behind most cryptocurrencies. The launch of Binance's new fund arrives at a time when Bitcoin and other digital currencies are down sharply. Bitcoin has plunged more than 50% since reaching an all-time high of $69,000 in November. That's taking a toll on publicly listed crypto companies like Coinbase, whose shares have plunged 69% since the start of 2022. Investors fear the slump will feed through to privately held crypto startups. While startups' valuation of $1 billion or more are slowing down a bit, there is no current impact in near-stage private market. Ken Lee, Binance Labs Executive Director of Investment and M&A, told CNBC. Binance Lab is hoping to capitalize on the recent plunge in digital assets to find founders building what it sees as the next big thing in tech. Its bets will be split the investment to pre-seed, early stage, and growth equity, and the fund will invest in token as well as shares. We are looking for projects with the potentials to drive the growth of the Web3 ecosystem, Lee said. Such projects may include infrastructure, non-fungible token, and decentralized autonomous organization. That's DAO. Binance estimates there are currently around 300,000 to 500,000 active Web3 developers, a number it hopes to grow substantially. Binance has made a series of high-profile equity investments in the past year. This is the first time the company has formally raised a VC fund with financing from external investors. Binance Lab investment portfolio include business news magazine Forbes and Sky Mavis, the company behind popular non-fungible token game, that's Anzia Infinity. So it was also an investor in Terraform Labs, the embattled Singapore-based startup behind failed stablecoin project Terra. So that's how far we can go on that project, that story. I will see how, like I said earlier, how Binance is making some impact in the blockchain space and also dominating that particular space. So having come up with this fund, and they have Binance have really invested heavily in different projects. They have investment in many cryptocurrency and blockchain projects, and they are well known in the ecosystem. Let's see how this plays out. Let's see, is this good for the ecosystem for a particular project to gain dominance like it is, as we are seeing it with Binance. So let's move over to the next headline. Next headline, we are going to be looking at India. So we know a lot of unfriendly attitude from the government of India. This headline is India government finalizing crypto consultation paper, says they are looking at a global paradigm on digital assets. So a lot of the stand India is taking on when it comes to cryptocurrencies are not favorable. So they have a lot of stands against cryptocurrency, and it has really affected that particular nation. So knowing very well how big that nation is and the influence they have, India is a very big market. So them not being not knowing exactly where they are when it comes to cryptocurrency regulation. I know many projects have really moved us because of the new tax they brought when it comes to cryptocurrencies, and it has really pushed many cryptocurrency projects away. Even many exchanges has really left the shores of India. But that market is a very big market. According to this story, India's economic affairs secretary has reportedly revealed that the government's consultation paper on cryptocurrency is fairly ready. He explained that the Indian government is looking at a global paradigm on digital assets, emphasizing that there has to be a broad framework on which all economies have to be together. Indian Economic Affairs Secretary Ajay Seth provided an update Monday on the government progress to establish India's crypto policy. Speaking about the government's consultation paper on crypto, he was quoted by CNBC TV 18 as saying, "Our consultation paper is fairly ready, and we went into a deep dive and have consulted not just the domestic institutional stakeholders, but also the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund." So we hope that we will soon be in position to finalize our consultation paper, the Economic Affairs Secretary added. So in April, there have been reports in India that the finance ministry officials discussed a crypto regulatory framework with various stakeholders, including the IMF, the World Bank, the Reserve Bank of India, and the Security and Exchange Board of India. The IMF noted that the time that crypto assets are high on the agenda for India. Seth also disclosed digital assets in broader sense Monday. He described whatever way we want to deal with those assets, there has to be a broad framework on which all economies have to be together. So that's India's stand on cryptocurrency. I didn't want to go deeper reading that particular article, but there's to show that nations are really looking into cryptocurrency. And I know cryptocurrency is still early, and most regulators don't really understand the ecosystem. So everybody, I must say, is really doing their own research. So nobody has the perfect way for it. So it's a new industry. So people are still experimenting, and nations are still looking for a way to have the right regulations. And I really believe in what he's saying. That's a good idea that people, nations, regulators should come together and to find the perfect regulatory guidelines. So most times nations tend to, regulators tend to pay more attention. Not that it's not important to paying attention in your own region, but also you have to also look at what others are really doing and also find a way to make it fitting to your own region. So that's it on India. Let's see how that is going to affect if they come out with perfect regulation. Let's see how it's going to affect cryptocurrency in India. You know, India is also having you can't really have transactions with financial institutions in India. So just almost like Nigeria. So they have a stand against cryptocurrencies. So let's see how that plays out. I'll look at how cryptocurrency mass adoption. So we look at mass adoption because next headline we have here is about mass adoption of cryptocurrency. We have that Chipotle, a Mexican restaurant chain, has announced it will start accepting BTC and other crypto as payment. So that's a very welcome one. So this Chipotle is a Mexican owned restaurant. So it has chains. It has presence in the UK. It has presence in the United States of America. It also has a presence in France and Germany. So it's a very good one that you can now pay for your meals with whenever you're working. And another sweet thing about this particular news is that also they are giving 10% discount to every purchase made with cryptocurrencies. So that's a very good one, and that's what we are calling for, mass adoption. And we see that brands are looking into that. And also what this means is that they are also taking a bold step, and it's going to be able to draw many people to their businesses. So that's a very good one there. According to that story there, just briefly on the story, there. So Chipotle, a Mexican restaurant chain, announced that the food chain would be accepting cryptocurrency as payment. The Mexican food chain has established presence across the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, and France. Chipotle also offered a 10% discount on the next purchase to celebrate the announcement. The restaurant chain is implementing this feature with the assistance of Flexa. Chipotle will be the latest merchant to accept crypto payment through Flexa. Customers can pay with Flexa using Bitcoin and various crypto to pay for bowls, burritos, and anything on the menu. All that users have to do is open the Flexa enabled app and tap on Chipotle. Users can pay seamlessly and quickly for their meals with a single scan at the selected restaurants. Flexa is now available at over 2,975 plus Chipotle restaurants in the United States. To celebrate the acceptance of digital currency payment, the restaurant also offers everyone 10% off on every payment made with crypto. Cryptocurrencies have achieved widespread recognition, with major worldwide centralized institutions embracing them and offering security precaution for those who invest in them. Since then, prominent cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin, to mention a few, have found traction in the variety of industries around the world, including food business. Restaurants and hoteliers are doing themselves in terms of creativity by opening cryptocurrency themed restaurants all around the world. There are crypto eateries that take digital currencies as payment, as well as street food places and cafes that have developed lucrative menus with meals named after some of the most popular digital currencies. So while some consider joining the bandwagon purely for the belief in crypto and its underlying technology, others join the band to just cash in the growing popularity of cryptocurrencies. So whichever way they join, the main thing is there is adoption. So everyone will not join because of the same reason. So if they are joining just the bandwagon because of the benefit, just to cash out, is a good one. If they are joining for the love of the technology and the ecosystem, it's still a good one. So that's it. We are seeing a mass adoption, and this is a very good one for the crypto community. So it's because it is mass adoption that will help and the in the dominance of this ecosystem. So this ecosystem are just like the internet. It's a gradual process. Before you know it, every project, every ecosystem will be implementing blockchain, crypto in whatever they do. So we move over to the next headline. EU regulators warns soaring inflation could drive investors to crypto. Calls for unified regulatory framework. So they are warning that because of inflation, we see what is really happening. Inflation catching up with many countries, and many people are looking for safe havens. And I see most of them are seeing cryptocurrency as safe haven when it comes to investment, because most people believe that they can use Bitcoin to hedge against inflation, because many countries are really suffering inflation and their currencies are going down. Like we said about Lebanese pounds, which used to be around 26,000 Lebanese pounds to a dollar. But as of yesterday, we saw that on the news, is around 35,600 Lebanese pounds to a dollar. So you see that the value is going down. Even when you look at Naira as well, Naira inflation is also catching up with it. Naira is now around black market price is around $603 to $605. That's a black market price for Naira against dollar. So $1 is about 603 to 606 Naira. So these are ways people are looking at hedging their investment, their money, whatever they have in cryptocurrencies, knowing very well, even though people are saying it is volatile. Yeah, indeed it is volatile, but it also goes up. So those are what we're looking at. We'll see what. So we'll be looking at what do you think is it a way of mass adoption? So let me look at the story here briefly. So Europe's top securities regulators has warned that soaring inflation could drive investors to cryptocurrencies, stressing that there is an imbalance in how each EU country deals with crypto. The regulators call for a common regulatory framework across European countries. The European Securities and Market Authority, the EU's top securities market regulator, has warned that soaring inflation may drive retail investors into cryptocurrencies, Bloomberg reported Thursday. The regulators has also called for a formal legal framework to govern the crypto industry across all EU countries. So that's brief about that particular headline. Many people are seeing, even investors are seeing cryptocurrency as safe haven, and so regulators are looking for a way to have proper regulations around cryptocurrencies. So we see the likes of India looking at that, and we also see Nigeria coming up with a cryptocurrency regulation. So those are things we look at. Every nation, every regulator is looking on how to protect its citizens. So we look at next headline. We are going to be looking at this headline is mostly we are going to be looking at how investment is been how we're looking at the investment in blockchain in Africa. So will be is a research work that will be looking at how investment has really gone in Africa when it comes to blockchain. So we'll look at when you look at that particular article, it's been dominated when it comes to blockchain investment by Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and Seychelles. So these are 4 nations, the big 4. So according to that headline, blockchain funding, can countries outside Africa's big 4 break the mold? So we look at in Q1 2022, blockchain startups have raised $91 million just in Q1 of this year. You also look at Africa blockchain startup. Last year, the entire the startup ecosystem in Africa, blockchain, when it comes to blockchain, they raised a total sum of $127 million. That's what the entire blockchain startups in Africa raised, and that's about 0.5%. It may look big in Africa, but when you compare it with the rest of the world, you see that $127 million that have been raised by African blockchain startups represent only 0.5% of the entire blockchain investment in the world. When it comes to that, I don't know how that is going to look like. It may look good that African projects are raising funds, having raised 127 million last year, and having raised just a Q1 of this year, they have raised just $91 million. Now you see that the 127 million is only 0.5. How would you say it's not even up to 1% of the total investment in this industry across the globe? So I'll read that headline, that article briefly. It's a well detailed article, but let me just read the article. So let's look at this article that was published on Finance Magnet. So Finance Magnet. So we look at the headline that says blockchain funding, can countries outside Africa's big 4 break the mold? So we look at Africa's blockchain companies raised like I said earlier, 127 million in 2021. However, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and Seychelles alone got 96% of the funds. So what is surprising from my own point of view is how the Seychelles come into this, because when it comes to fintech investment in Africa, that I should have been seeing Egypt, because Egypt is another major player, but I don't know why Egypt is not there when it comes to blockchain, because this particular investment is not about fintech or tech, is only about blockchain industry. So according to that story, you see that the story goes on that although still at its infancy, Africa's blockchain industry is rising. According to the African Blockchain Report 2021, published last Monday by Crypto Valley Venture Capital, CVVC, a Swiss blockchain investor, blockchain companies in Africa raised 127 million in 2021. On the other hand, at the end of the first quarter of this year, they raised $91 million. The report stated, adding that the figure represents a staggering 1,668% year-on-year growth from the same period last year. In 2021, the global blockchain funding hit $25.2 billion. So this is around the globe, the entire blockchain funding, the funds funding that went to blockchain ecosystem. The blockchain project raised 25.2 billion across 1,247 deals. Additionally, Africa's $127 million stand at a paltry 0.5%, like I said earlier, 0.5%. So the entire ecosystem, blockchain ecosystem around the world raised 25.2 billion. Africa was able to have a share of that at $127 million. So okay. According to that story, nonetheless, the report knows that the blockchain industry in the continent greatly outperformed other sectors in terms of total amounts raised in venture funding with Q1 of 2022. In fact, Africa's blockchain venture funding growth was 11 times the growth of general venture funding growth as of March 2022 when compared to the same period in 2021. An industry-by-industry analysis of these blockchain venture capital funds also shows that fintech companies and exchanges alone accounted for 101 million, or 79% of the total investment in Africa's blockchain industry in the said quarter. CVVC wrote in the report, financial-related cryptocurrency companies raised the most venture funding by far. Fintech companies came in first place, followed by exchanges. It is not in the least bit surprising that this is the case, considering the following two factors. So looking at the two factors, first is because of a largely informal, frayed and fragmented financial system. The use cases for alternative financial technologies in Africa are plentiful. Second, roughly 60% of all venture funding in Africa goes to fintech businesses. According to the report, the second quarter of 2022 got off to a quick start with some noteworthy fundraising. Mara, a Pan-African cryptocurrency exchange, raised $23 million. Jambo, $30 million. Jambo is Mara is a Nigerian and Kenyan startup, while Jambo, which raised $30 million, is from Congo, and Afres raised $10 million from Nigeria. So the report revealed that most of the venture dollar pumped into Africa's blockchain industry in 2021 went to 3 out of Africa's big 4 countries: Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and Seychelles. The big 4 countries, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and Egypt, are the top tech startup investment hubs or destinations in Africa. However, with Egypt not emerging top this time, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and Seychelles accounted for 96% or 122 million out of the 127 million blockchain venture capital funds African blockchain companies received in 2021. Altogether, all funds in 2021 went to 8 out of 54 nations in Africa. Wow. With Nigeria, the continent's leading economy, alone responsible for 39.05% or 49.6 million of those funding. There has been a sporadic flow of funding for African blockchain companies. However, a few key countries stand head and shoulders above their peers in deals count and fund raised, the report says. So the report is there is more to it, but I just wanted us to see how investment in the ecosystem looks like, and it's a very good one that investments are coming into Africa. I know yesterday we talked about Adavas making investment in cassava as to help African content creators. So it's a very good one. Those investments are coming into Africa, but the percentage when compared to all the rest of the world is still below expectations. 0.5 is not a good cutoff now, but we'll see. The ecosystem is growing rapidly. It wasn't like this last year, so as time goes on, it keeps getting better, and most investors now, many investors are seeing Africa as a very good place for investment when it comes to startup investment. So we move away from that headline And we look at Elon Musk. Still is on the news today. Elon Musk to workers spend 40 hours in the office or else they are fired. So that's what it means. So Elon Musk is no longer, many companies are looking at hybrid working environments in a situation whereby staffs will be able to work for a certain days, or maybe 3 days in a week, and maybe the remaining 2 or 3 they spend it at home working from home. But Elon Musk doesn't see reasons with that. He wants most especially the senior workers, his senior workers. He wants them to be coming to the office to spend that 40 hours in a week. So that's they are spending approximately 6 hours or so a day at home. So he claimed that most workers who work from home, they don't really do much. They just pretend to be working but not making much impact. So they just play along. That's what he's saying. So that's what is really trending on Twitter this morning. If you look at Twitter, so this message he sent a memo to Tesla and SpaceX workers, staffs, and they have a lot of workforce there. He sent a memo telling them that they should spend 40 hours in the office, not doing the work from anywhere from office space. So look at so this particular announcement or memo has made lots of criticism. A lot of people are not happy. If you check Twitter, comments are flowing in. People are making comments. Many are not believing. They don't want it that way. They don't want. They don't like what Elon Musk is saying. So let me take a look at the story that we have about it here. So according to New York Times, in email to workers. In emails to workers at SpaceX and Tesla, Mr. Musk said they were required to spend a minimum of 40 hours a week in the office. Elon Musk is demanding that his workers return to the office. Mr. Musk, the world's richest man, sent a pair of similar memos on Tuesday to push his employees at SpaceX, the rocket company he runs, and Tesla, the electric car maker he leads, to spend time in the office. In his email to SpaceX employees, Mr. Musk told workers that they were required to spend a minimum of 40 hours in the office per week. Those who did not do so would be fired, he wrote in the memo, which was obtained by the New York Times. The more senior you are, the more visible must be your presence, Mr. Musk said. That is why I spent so much time in the factory, so that those who on the line could see me working alongside them. If I had not done that, SpaceX would long ago have gone bankrupt. In his memo to Tesla executive staff, which was posted by two pro-Tesla Twitter accounts and which the billionaire appeared to confirm, Mr. Musk also wrote that anyone who wishes to do remote work must be in the office for a minimum of 40 hours a week. Those who decline should depart Tesla, he added. With his twin notes, Mr. Musk waded directly into the fractious debate over the right way for corporations to bring workers back to the office during the coronavirus pandemic. Over the past couple of years, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, and many other companies have announced and then delayed return to office date as coronavirus surges have complicated plans. Remote work has become normalized. The issue has become more fraught as coronavirus vaccination have increased and an abatement of the pandemic seemed to be near. Some companies began saying they expected workers to return to the office. Still, plans to have continued to fluctuate. Apple last month suspended its requirement that employees must return to the office in May for at least 3 days a week because of a resurgence of COVID-19 cases. Airbnb recently told its employees that they never had to return to the office. Mr. Musk, Tesla and SpaceX did not return requests for comment. Many employees at Tesla and SpaceX had already been back in the office to some extent. In 2020, as non-essential workplaces in California closed their doors during the early days of the pandemic, SpaceX headquarters in Hampton, California, used its exemption as a government contractor to remain open. In a March 2020 email, which was earlier reported by BuzzFeed News, Mr. Musk told SpaceX employees that they had a higher risk of being killed in a car crash than dying from the coronavirus. So that I don't want to go deeper into that. That's what is really trending on Twitter. That's about Elon Musk and what he believes about 40 hours coming to the office and spending 40 hours a week. So we'll be having our guests who will also be helping us look into all these trending headlines, and also we'll be bringing you some news about our Dubai media tour. With all this and more, we'll bring your way when we return. So we'll be going for a short break. When we return, we'll delve into our conversation, getting opinion from our guests. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's still Good Morning Africa live on Cnetv, our breakfast show that comes your way every weekdays, 7 a.m. West African time. We help you get started for the day with a lot of what is happening in the blockchain, crypto, and fintech ecosystem, ranging from word for the day to market updates to trending headlines and having guests make some input. So we've gotten to that stage. We will be welcoming our guest for today, who is going to be helping us to uh, dissect some of these headlines that we have here. Our guest for today is Ayo Deji Alato, who is the founder, careers and business everything. You are welcome, Ayo Deji.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I'm very well. How are you too?
Yeah, I'm doing great. We are happy to have you on the show. We're looking at some of the trending headlines today. Those headlines that people are looking at that is still buzzing. Let's look at the Binance Summit. What would you say about it? One of the headlines we have here is Binance raising 500 million to invest in Web3 startups, most especially at this bear market. What would you say about that?
All right, thank you very much. In the past 2 to 3 years, I have been observing the crypto market, and I can say that they are really doing a lot in this space. They're also trying to ensure that they educate people and therefore a lot of misconceptions people might have about the cryptocurrency. Although there are different people who have come in the space to come and hide under the umbrella of the cryptocurrency, and then also, dupe people of their hard-earned money. I was on a show last week Saturday. I was invited by my friend who works in Binance, and then through that, I was able to understand something that they do there. I also have the mindset that Binance is also trying all their possible best to ensure regulations of each country to bring to an understanding what their intents are. So I would say it's a big one for them to have that platform and the opportunity to raise that amount of money in this place to help businesses and individuals.
Okay, thank you very much. We've seen how Binance has been investing in different projects and all the rest of them, many cryptocurrency projects, and they are coming up with this 500 million fund for to invest in Web3 startups. That's a good one. Let's look at this morning we saw on Twitter what is really happening. Elon Musk demanding that his workers uh, make sure they work 40 hours in a week. So what would you say about that? Are you in support of remote working, or do you align with what Musk is saying?
All right. The truth is that the work I work in, I work in a financial institution where um, everybody is clamoring for remote work. I made a post on LinkedIn, the option of salary, remote working, suggested that they voted for increase in salary and remote work. I believe that there are some kind of jobs that